Okay. Okay. Then I guess we have everyone in. And I think we're ready. I think we're ready. And well, we have a special guest today, Jackie Reid. She's a talent manager with many years of experience of casting talent for projects. And she's the one making sure the kids get a role in film, commercials, print, television, and even voiceover. So let's all welcome Jackie Reid. She's gonna share all the tips and tricks with us today. Hi, Jackie. Thank you. Thank you for
Hi,
coming.
thanks. I don't know if I love the way you stressed many years. Makes me feel old, but okay.
But
You're
I
like so
know
many.
I just know that you have so many, so much knowledge.
I
I
do.
mean, you
Yeah.
cannot earn it just working 1 year in casting, it's changing and you have to adapt and you have to keep all the experience in your head always. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, today we're gonna talk on how to get a role in Netflix show or Amazon show for the kid roles. And mostly, I assume we're having parents here. There might be some teens as well who are managing their kids casting profiles themselves. So we will answer all your questions. At the end of the session, we'll have a Q&A part where you can drop your questions in a Q&A chat. It's a separate chat. But rather than that, ask your questions and we will pull the best ones and Jackie will be ready to answer them. Okay, so Jackie, I think everyone is just eager to know how how to get in front of Netflix casting directors. So basically, what does Netflix actually look for in a child while casting for series?
Okay, so what I want to get out up front is what Netflix is looking for in casting a series is the same thing that Amazon and Disney and HBO and Paramount, everybody's looking for the same thing. So this isn't specific to Netflix. These are things that are going to help you in your career for every single audition that you're going on. So the first thing they're looking for in an audition tape is authenticity. Okay. Um, Casting's incredibly good at telling whether someone is acting, especially kids. Kids, sometimes parents tell them, oh, you've got to do this, you've got to be big, you've got to smile, you've got to say this louder. They want kids to be kids. They want, basically, you don't want an audition to look like an audition. It should look like the child is living the scene and somebody accidentally turned on a camera and caught it. Authenticity is key. Natural does not mean boring. Natural means be natural, be authentic, be yourself. Um, they want a child who listens. As far as now, you're doing a script. It's me and Kate, and I say something, and Kate says something. They are looking, particularly with kids, to make sure that the child is listening to the other person and reacting to what they say. I've seen people who are like, here's my line, here's my line, here's my line. Waiting while you speak. Oh, here's my line. I'm back. Waiting. No, they need to react to what the other person is saying. Um, and it needs to be appropriate. Like if somebody says something shocking, the second it leaves their mouth, you're like, is not appropriate. It takes, even if it's two beats, it takes that while to process it and to let it come out. They want personality. And here's where with parents especially, sometimes you guys inadvertently, obviously not on, intentionally, you train the personality out of them. Stand straight, speak clearly, smile more. Don't smile, do it again. Now you've got them doing it 20 times. 6 months later, you don't have an accountant, you don't have an actor, you have more of a, 42-year-old accountant who is a little robot. We do not want that. Casting wants to see the kid, the actual kid. Okay, if your child is dry and sarcastic, let him be dry and sarcastic. If your kid is goofy, let him be goofy. If your kid is, thoughtful and quiet, these are the roles they're going to excel at. A thoughtful, quiet kid probably isn't going to be a Disney Channel kid who's over the top and yelling and, and vice versa. Sometimes those kids don't transition to, quiet, dramatic roles. Um, they need to be directable, meaning the casting director tells them to do something, you do it. They say, okay, let's do it this way. Let's change. Can you do it louder? Can you do it madder? Can you do it happier? If they do it the exact same way, that's a problem. They want to be able to see that kids can take direction. What'll happen also is if you're doing a callback, a director could say, hey, that was great, but let's do it this way. And sometimes that throws kids off because they think, oh, they didn't like the way I did it. And that is completely untrue. You could be amazing and they love you. They just need to know when you're on set, you're able to pivot. So it might be a comedy and they're like, okay, that was awesome. Now say it like you're really mad. Doesn't make sense. It's a comedy. Really mad doesn't fit. You need to pivot. You need to be mad. Not subtly mad, not like, oh, I'm going to take it up 1%. They can't see that. Don't be a lunatic either, but make the adjustment enough that they can see it, that you're listening to the director and you're following directions. Because things change on set. You may be, doing a scene perfectly and a writer goes, yeah, I don't think I want it done that way. Let's do it this way. So they need to know that you're able to take direction. That's a really, really big one. Um, Professionalism matters. You always want to be respectful. Um, Not only do they decide before casting whether or not they want to work with a child, they know they want to work with the family because, again, being professional matters. Being prepared, being on time, having good communication skills, um, knowing your boundaries, which is a big one. Um, Being talented gets you into the conversation, but being talented and easy to work with gets you a booking sometimes.
All right. That's so helpful. That's
Okay.
really helpful. Yeah, I love it. I love
It's
it.
funny because I usually do these things where I could see the kids and I'm getting some sort of feedback, but I'm just watching myself say it. So,
No, no, I'm sure everyone is just listening and taking notes.
okay.
That's what usually happens. So
Okay.
basically, with all of this, what's the one thing parent can do to get their child in a big show?
Okay. Stop concentrating on the one big role and concentrate on making your child consistently ready for when that opportunity comes in. Um, the question actually isn't like, how do I get my kid on Netflix? The question is more, if I got a Netflix audition tomorrow, is my child ready to do it? Um, you can't control what casting needs. If you're short with, brown hair and casting wants someone tall with red hair, you can't control that. What you can control is being ready. Okay. Are the profiles current? Are the pictures accurate? Are your sizes current on your casting sites? Are your skills truthful? Are you listening when the other person's talking? Can they memorize, an appropriate amount of material in usually a short amount of time? Can they take direction? Can they make interesting acting choices? Um, can they handle getting rejected without their self-worth being, crushed? Um, these are the things you can control. I've watched people, what's really not helpful is sometimes the kid will get a giant audition that they're not ready for. The thing that you need to do is prepare during the quiet periods so that you're ready for the big ones. It's kind of like sports, right? If you're an Olympic swimmer, you spend all of your time training. You don't suddenly go, oh my God, the Olympics are next Thursday. I better start training. you have to stay ready so you don't have to become ready when the opportunity arises. Um, you need to, sorry, you need to up your skills, like really concentrate on training, concentrate on how good your self-tape is, but we'll get there. That's a
Right.
totally different thing. Um, okay.
And with this quiet period, are you saying should they, I mean, apply for unpaid gigs first and learn and practice there so that they're ready for the big ones?
Um, That's a yes and a no. It depends on who it is. If you're brand new and you're starting out, then yes. You also have to, I mean, there are a lot of like student films that advertise on various things that are unpaid. Those are great. It gets you on a set as long as you're going to get the material back in a reasonable amount of time. There are some student films, colleges sometimes are like, okay, this semester we're going to work on filming. Next semester we're going to work on color correction. Next semester we're going to work on sound editing. We don't want to wait 2 years for this project to be finished for you to get, something we can put on your profile showing that you can act.
Right. So should
So,
we ask about it? I mean, should we
yes.
ask when this project is going to be live?
Yeah, yeah, just a ballpark. Nobody knows exactly usually when it's a student film or, a short film. Sometimes a short film, they want to get it done in time to put through festivals so they have a better idea. You know,
Yeah.
let me just, because I don't think you're going to ask this question. Try not to do background on anything that's a series. Okay, if you're doing background, say on Law and Order SVU, and your child is sitting in the back of the classroom coloring, they can't have a regular, principal role for a year. So you're knocking your kid out of the big stuff by doing background. And people think, oh, it's good experience. Do it on movies. If you're not cast on the movie, go do background. But you can't be, like I said, you can't be, and this goes for adults and teens too. You can't be the guy standing behind the murderer at Starbucks drinking a coffee and then be, the murderer next week. Doesn't work that way. So I see a lot of people, especially, New York and LA, shooting themselves in the foot by doing background. And now, guess what? You've eliminated, 6 out of 12 shows that you can't work on now for a year.
Right. But still, I mean, sitting for half a year and then waiting for the bigger show also, it's kind of confusing. So
No, you
I
don't
would
have to
say,
wait. You could get an audition next week for a principal role. It's
yeah.
just if you do the background, then you absolutely can't for a year.
Right. Because I think that's the reason why many parents and teens get disappointed because they're expecting that they will get, hired for Netflix show tomorrow. Even if you're just a newcomer, you're just starting out, your reels are not good enough, possibly for a Netflix casting director. So it's really insightful that you're sharing that they still have to land those, starting roles. Again, principal roles, but for smaller projects, so that they will have this resume to show, in those reels and stuff.
I've seen it both ways though. I had a kid come to me, just moved here from a different state to LA, went on his first audition and booked a series regular on an ABC show. It
Wow.
happens both ways. You can have the best resume in the world. If you don't fit the character, you're not going to book the job. You could also be your first audition. There are a lot of kids with natural talent,
Right.
spontaneity, charisma. You could
So,
book your first one out. It's not the norm, but it happens.
right. So what separates the kid on Amazon from the one that is just, sitting unseen? Is it
Okay, so
charisma?
what separates the kids who repeatedly get opportunities from the kids that struggle to get in the room,
Right.
it's not like one magical thing. It's basically a chain. Casting has to discover them. Their profile has to be enough that makes the casting director click on it. Their photos have to accurately represent them. Their resume and their skills have to make sense for the role. Like if it's on Yellowstone and the kid grew up on a ranch, They're looking for a kid who can ride a horse. If you can ice skate in the city, you do not have the skill to do that other role. Their self-tape has to capture someone's attention. Um, their acting has to be good, obviously. Then they get a callback. Okay. From the callback, they have to take direction. Then there's usually a chemistry read. Producers become involved. Other people in the network have to approve. Basically, what I'm saying is it's not one door. Okay. It's a hallway filled with doors. And your job as parents is to make sure that none of these doors close. We don't give them unnecessary reasons to close the door.
Right.
That makes sense?
Yeah, yeah, that
Like
sounds
you do
perfect.
what you need to do on your end to, and they may get to the very end and not get it. And that doesn't mean they weren't wonderful and brilliant. It just means casting had a different vision in mind.
Right. So what are those things that parents actually can control?
Okay, for one, and this sounds like the most basic thing, is follow direction. Now you get an audition for a self-tape and it says do a slate, do a body shot, and give us two takes, film it in landscape, and usually they'll tell us the file format. Do it. I have had people come back and guess what? There are six tapes because they're like, oh my gosh, they were so adorable. I couldn't pick. Here's six of them. No, you're
And
not helping,
what do you
you're
usually do?
hurting.
Do you watch any of them or you
We watch
just
everything. We watch as managers, we watch everything because um we want everything to be in the best possible shape before it gets to casting. We're a team. You want your child to book, I want your child to book, your child wants to book. So in order to make it successful, of course, we watch everything. The only time we don't watch it, again, this is something I have to put on the parents, is if I tell you, hey, you have an audition due Thursday at 5 o'clock, and you send it to me Thursday at 4:55 in the afternoon. I don't have time to watch it. I don't have time to give notes. I don't have time to, have you retape it. It's going straight to casting.
right?
And there's a lot of times, I mean, a lot of times when the tape comes in and you'll get an email back going, excellent work, sent to casting. Not everything needs to be redone. But sometimes, and it may not even be the acting. It could be, ooh, that lighting was really bad, or I don't think you, knew it when you were doing it, but one of the lines got cut off, or so it's really important to work with us, not against us. Um, okay, so what else helps is making an audition that sorry, I have two cats that just decided to fight. Hey,
It's fine. I
sorry.
can hear them.
You could? Okay. Um, okay, children who stand out get seen. Um, safe auditions sometimes could be forgettable. I'm not telling you to be like crazy, but throwing in a couple of personality choices sometimes helps. The thing is, you can have two kids doing the same script, or 10 kids, or 100 kids. Every audition is going to be different. Every audition is going to be different. The way we like to say it is the words belong to the writer, but the point of view belongs to the actor. And they're watching lots of different points of view, and they say, we like this one, or we like these 10. So now out of the 100, we're down to this many. Um, let's see. Okay, so as far as your profile goes, you want the pictures to accurately look like your child. If your child is 12 and you have a picture up from when they were 9 and you're like, but it's such a beautiful picture, casting wants what walks through their door to be exactly what they're seeing in this picture, because what they're seeing in this picture matches their view of the character.
So how often should they update those pictures?
Kids once a year minimum, not okay, once a year. 9 months, 10 months, that's fine. But you're going more than 2 years or 3 years, and people say, my kid looks exactly the same. And after they take the pictures and I go, this was your picture then, this is your picture now, they're like, wow. You can't see it. You're seeing your child every day. You can't see the changes. We see the changes. And again, doesn't help your child if I'm submitting them for 12 and they look 9 in the photo. No,
Right.
casting's not going. Well, let me imagine them. Also, which I don't know if parents know, when casting looks at a profile and there we can see casting agents, managers, we can see when it was uploaded. So if your picture is from 3 years ago, you're not a professional and you don't care enough, to make sure everything is done right. And that does make a difference. This is an extremely competitive business, and you want to do everything you can. Okay, special skills. If you say your child is fluent in Spanish, they should be fluent in Spanish. Doesn't mean grandma speaks Spanish and you can say hola. It's not fluent in Spanish. Okay. Or your kid walks around a ring with somebody holding a pony. Your child is not a horseback rider. We want the skills to match, to be truthful. Also, we want skills to be skills. I've seen resumes where it's my child rides a bike, my child reads, my child plays on their, I just blanked on it, on their PlayStation. That's not a skill. My child loves dressing Barbies. That's not a skill. Skills should be skills. And you should be pretty accurate in how they do it. Like my child plays the guitar for 1 year. My child's played the guitar since they can walk is different. Advanced, intermediate, beginner. Just be honest because it's very helpful. Um, if you're making a reel, they should get to the good stuff quickly. You don't want somebody to have to earn the right to see the good stuff. So if you have different clips, you put the best ones up front. These days, though, reels are not used as often as they used to be. Now we're using clips. Comedy clip and a quick description underneath. Quirky teen loses her braces, loses her retainer. You know instantly what kind of clip you're going to be seeing there, as opposed, or drama. Child found out their mother was in a car accident is different. When it was only reels, you would have to watch all of these and not know, it's casting. And everybody has so much less time these days, and everybody wants everything quick. So if they're casting a sitcom, they're going to look at your profile and they're going to look at, oh, comedy clip, comedy clip, comedy clip. They're going to skip things that are like, oh, that's a musical theater clip, that's a dramatic clip, that's a, you know, dance clip. So we really recommend these days clips
Yeah,
more
that's a great
than
tip. And how long should be that clip?
the clip could be.
Like 30 seconds, like a reel? I
Well,
mean,
it depends. If you have a clip, like say you did an episode of, Law and Order, and you have a clip for 2 minutes, put up the clip. It's,
okay. Mhm.
you want to put it up.
Right, right. And
Another
how
thing,
many? Yeah, sorry. Go
sorry,
ahead.
seriously, I have some wicked ADHD that I don't medicate because I think it makes me delightfully quirky. Um, So if I don't say it, it sometimes goes away. Also, a thing that's really important is when you're putting up the pictures on the casting profiles, put up a slate shot. And what a slate shot is say in this picture you've got a big smile on and it's your commercial shot, and your picture is your slate shot is literally, "Hi, I'm Jackie Reid." That's it. You're not talking about yourself. What we like to say is it's the picture come to life. If it's, a serious one, then it's just, "Hi, I'm Jackie Reid." It should match. It should be in the same outfit um, as your headshot. And the thing that makes that important, dumb, but it's a trick, it gets you higher up on the algorithm to casting because casting gets, I mean, at this point, now that you don't have to be in the room, they could get 1,000 submissions. And there's algorithms. And if you have a slate shot, you move up the algorithm. If you have clips, you move up the algorithm. You don't want to be the thousandth out of 1,000 submissions because you don't have those things. Because who knows if casting's going down that far. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, perfectly, because that's how we do it. On kids casting, we have a rating, profile rating for each kid, and that's how it works. Basically, yes, each asset, media, like each picture, reel, slate, whatever, like voiceover, or even skills, like you've mentioned, horse riding, French speaking. Each skill gives him up like some scores, and basically, once casting directors are receiving submissions, those submissions will be going by the rating. So the top rating will be shown first. So that's why we always keep on saying to our talent that please fill out your profile, add as much information as you can, upload as many assets as you can, because that's what casting director will see first once. And only then, if they cannot find the matching kid, then they will go to the lower rating. But of course, the ones that have the filled out the profiles, they will get the job. So that's why
Right.
it's important to invest time, first of all, to create all those materials and basically, yeah, market yourself. That's, I mean, our phones allow our today do it ourselves, even at home with the good lighting. And I don't know, mom or dad can film that. And it's perfect time to start doing it. But just you need
Yeah,
time to do it.
right. Let me just expand on what you said. Phones are great these days. Phones are completely professional. The result has to look professional. Just because you have a good phone and you're self-taping, you still need the things that make it look professional and that put out a nice product. And, doing it against your wall, not great. Invest in a backdrop. They're not expensive on Amazon. Get a ring light so that, you don't have giant shadows behind you, when your eyes don't have big circles under them. Get a tripod because this is not as good as it on a tripod. Little things that don't really cost a lot, but are gonna make the quality of your audition so much better that casting's not looking at, at a blurry, unwell lit thing as when they can be concentrating on how good your child is doing.
Right, right. Yeah, so with like we've discussed the profile, yeah, on how to stand out in front of Netflix casting directors or Amazon. But training, how about training? Does the kid actually does need that training, acting training to get into the Netflix show? Or it can just come from the talent or charisma? What helps here?
That answer is yes and no. Like I said, you're going to have the kid who's just very natural and they have charisma and they understand the material and their audition comes out truthful. It happens. Is it the norm? It is not. Training matters. Just like, you know, I feel like anybody, athletes continue to train. People who, are professionals continue to train. What matters is good training gives an actor tools, how to break down a scene, how to listen, how to make choices in what you're saying. So you're not just reciting the lines, how to work on camera, how to make adjustments when you're told, how to handle comedy. Comedy is its own special thing. You need to have the right rhythm, the right beats, um, how to deal with emotional material, how to self-tape. Um, those are things that you're going to get in training that most people just don't know off the top of their heads. You just have to be careful about overtraining. You don't want, the thing about young actors is they have spontaneity. You don't want to drill that out of them.
Right. You still want to see the
Training
kid.
should be age appropriate. Um, and not every acting class is a good acting class. You have to really, evaluate after your child's taken a couple and see, are they more confident? Are they more relaxed on camera? Are they, do they feel more comfortable making choices and not just standing there, reciting the lines like they were in front of the class reading a paper, you know? Um, yeah,
So basically, can a parent train the kid at home? Again, I mean, today we do have the Chat GPT and Claude and stuff.
it's
So
not
at
the
least
same.
some
It's not the
basic tips.
same.
It's not the same.
It's
Okay.
not. I mean, coaches really. do things that you can't do as a parent, that
Right.
you're not equipped to do. Um,
Well, how
you're
about
going into,
filming? Yeah,
I'm sorry.
how about filming the kid so that he will get used to being filmed, on the
Yeah,
camera.
yeah, you can do that. You can do, yeah. Um, you can help a child, but you don't want to become the child's director 24 hours a day.
Right. Right.
Like home is like you can run lines, you can play improv games, read scripts, you can watch your favorite actors on TV. Like let's watch this episode of Stranger Things, and what did you like about that? What did you think? Oh, did you think that was, did you think that was a good scene? Those are all really good things to do. What you don't want to do is no, say it happier. No, stand up straighter. Now, you're going to say this word, then pause. You're not trying to give the kids line readings. What you can do to help, though, is ask questions. Instead of things like, okay, now say it like you're mad, what you can do is, why are you mad at her? And let the child process, you know? Instead of, you can look sad here, be like, what just happened? How are you feeling about that? You're encouraging the child to think like an actor.
Right.
These are
Right.
things you can do. Um, and don't make your house feel like it's one big audition. Don't be sitting at the dinner table going, okay, now do your commercial for everyone. No, do it again. No, this time take a bite of your food. Don't do it. It's not,
Sometimes parents do get obsessed a little bit, trying to get the kid into commercials or, I mean, auditions and yeah, over
exactly.
training.
You could though, you could because headshots could be expensive. So when you're starting out and you don't even know if your child is going to love it, um, you can take your own pictures because again, iPhones are pretty good. So you want natural light, you want a simple background, no distracting clothing, like stripes usually don't look that great on camera, no logos. So you don't want it to say, the Gap in giant letters, no filters, no crazy retouching. Don't make your 8-year-old look 18. We want your 8-year-old to look 8. Um, Make sure the eyes are sharp. That's a thing. You want to really be able to see the depth and the emotion because the eyes say everything, if that makes sense. You need several expressions. You want a nice big smiling one looking happy for commercials and for comedy roles. And you want a serious one for dramatic roles. And serious doesn't mean flat. It just doesn't mean you're not smiling. It means I can't do it well, but like serious. I'm laughing. That was not a good, yeah, that was not a good thing. Um, Yeah, because headshots are, like I said, kind of expensive. So make sure before you invest, a lot of money that it's something your child's gonna love and really want to keep doing. And also get a photographer who specializes in headshots, not portraits. You can have the person do the most beautiful portraits and they can't take a headshot to save their lives. And you'll know it by looking at their website. Are their hands in the picture? Nope. That's like my biggest red flag is somebody sends me pictures like this or like this, like the old Sears photos. Can't use them. Don't do it. I
Right.
had someone, I know it sounds so crazy. I had someone send me headshots, and what they did is they had sisters, they took pictures of them underwater with their hair floating up. And they said, we thought these would be great to make them stand out. Oh, they stand out. They stand out. Or I had one parent send me an entire session with the Yankees logo painted on the kid's cheek. Don't get that creative.
Yeah, those are good. And how about just learning lines? I mean, help kids learn lines because, again, when the big role will come, they will need to learn those, the big.
Right, right. And do your best to memorize. We know not everybody can, and there are certain, people, certain kids. I have kids on the roster with dyslexia. Sometimes you can't, memorize big things, big chunks. Do your best to do what you can. Um, And it also a skill which an acting teacher can coach you is if you have, let me, piece of paper. Okay, so say you have, I can't see that. Say you have a script, right? You don't want to be doing this. There's a way to hold it out of camera where you can just glance, catch your line, come back to camera and say it. These are things a good coach can teach you.
Right. Very practical. Thank you. Thank you, Jackie. Really very practical tips.
Thank
Okay,
you.
guys, I
Oh,
think,
and also when you're doing a reel or say you're auditioning for an agent or manager and they're like, "Great, if do you have something prepared, just make it age appropriate." You know, I had a kid recently, an 8-year-old, come in and it was a 3-page scene of her sobbing over her bitter divorce. Nope. That kid would have knocked a Disney thing out of the park.
right.
Age appropriate.
Of course, of course. Yeah, okay. I think we are ready for a Q&A session. Uh,
Okay.
so guys, yeah, if you have questions for Jackie and want her to answer it live, please drop your questions in the Q&A chat and we will just pull several to answer those because now I see that our kids casting team has answered most of them, so we need the new ones.
I love Q&As. Bring it on. I'll try and go fast. I'll try and talk fast so we could get more questions in.
Okay. Um, okay, guys, Q&A, you have a separate chat for Q&A questions. Okay. What advice do you have for a 22-month-old toddler?
We start at 4, so not truly equipped to answer that. I don't think they can really do too much as far as, acting and saying lines. I mean, they could do diaper commercials, they could do, other kinds of commercials. But as far as TV shows, first of all, if your kid is 22 months, they're going to book twins because there's only a certain amount of time a baby can be on camera legally. And if you have an identical carbon copy, they could switch them out. Okay, next one.
Okay. So, let's see. Okay, so I see several questions about managers. So the question is, does my teen need a manager or an agent? And overall, when should the parent understand that they need a manager or like talent agent? After a certain number of landed gigs, or I mean, when exactly should they worry about it? Because like in terms of like kids casting, of course, they allow parents to apply for roles themselves. And for newcomers, that's the perfect point to start, to market themselves in the profile, start applying for jobs. So at what moment do those parents or teens need an additional person to manage?
Okay. So
So the
I'm biased because I'm a manager, but generally the rule is you can get an agent and get auditions and everything is great. As managers, especially with developmental clients, we're the ones who are going to go through your pictures and pick them. We're going to say, "Hey, you're getting your headshots next week. Can you do me a favor? Try on all the outfits first and send them to me." We're going to we just do a lot more hand holding and a lot more guiding. And another difference is agents will have, say, 50 kids, 50, say, 10-year-old boys. We don't. We keep, as I was telling you before, we keep 2 to 3 of any category because we don't want to dilute the work our kids are getting. So when something comes out, unlike an agent who has 50, we have, say 2 or 3 who we think are right for the role. We have the time to pick up the phone and call casting and say, "Hey, you got to see, A, B, C." So we're pretty I find we get more auditions than agents do. That saying, I'm not, agents are the best. We love agents. We work with agents. The ideal is once we get you some traction and some momentum is partnering with an agent. So you have a full team.
Okay, okay, perfect.
I've been reading the questions as they go by, so I'm going to just spitball a couple of answers. You have a toddler who's adorable, but they're reserved. Very normal. Try and get them around people. try and, get them around like, oh, you're in the supermarket. Let's go say hi to the fruit guy. Hi, can you say hi? Hi. That's something stranger danger does not work with toddlers when they're meeting someone new. If it's going to be a commercial for, the Olive Garden and you're sitting there with a mom, you can't hide behind your mom's leg. So trying to train them. I've also seen a bunch of questions like, do you know any auditions in North Carolina? Do you know any auditions in Florida? The thing is now, 99% of things are still remote. You can be anywhere and be able to do something in New York and LA. I'll cover at the end what you need to do, but go ahead. Next.
What do you expect from a 4-year-old?
4-year-olds, I will send them a Band-Aid commercial and it's super easy. And it's like, I got my very own puppy. His name is Spot. Every day I take him for a walk. But when he sees a cat, he takes me for a walk. If your kid can do that, great. If they can't, perfectly fine. I'm going to do a personality thing like, hi, what's your name? How old are you? And the ones who are like, hi, I'm Jackie, as opposed to the looking at mom, tell her your name. Susan. How old are you, Susan? Tell her you're 4. 4. We're looking for just, for 4-year-olds. You can tell when a kid is afraid of people and when they're not.
Right,
Next.
right. Okay. Yeah, still, well, there's also a question how to, make myself stand out. We've covered that. Basically, the first thing is directions, follow directions, have your profile ready, headshots, reels, skills added, as much as you can. Okay, let's
And
see.
and when you're brand new, before you have anything, you can submit yourself. There's stuff you can submit yourself on. Make a profile on kidscasting.com. Am I allowed to mention the other ones?
Well, it's mostly kids casting that we're covering today.
Okay.
Important questions. Do kids need working papers before they get a job? I think that
Yes. Yes, 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 yes. First thing you do is you apply, you get a permit for New York and you get a permit for LA. I don't care where you live. Those are the two places you're mainly going to work. Get permits. New York lasts for a year, LA lasts for 6 months. Get the permit. Another thing when you get the permit, especially in New York, is there's going to be an option for a 15-day permit. Do not take it. That 15-day permit is issued once in your lifetime. So your child is working and you've been to Disney World and you just shot a movie and you forgot to renew the permit and you have a job coming up. This is where this 15-day is going to come in handy. Do not burn it. Next.
okay. Let's see. Yeah, I have this question about the girl. She's 13-year-old and she's a quiet kid. How can a parent help the kid, help her stand up and basically, be more confident, I would say, and be ready for those auditions? Or should that kid go into this entertainment? I mean, what's your take on this?
Well, she should go into it if she loves it and she wants to do it. If she wants to do it, I mean, I have kids on the roster who aren't, um, and this actually helps these days with things being remote. Back when you went in the room, it was you had to go in the room and have a conversation and how are you and be like charming before you even start the audition. Now your self-tape is, hi, my name is Jackie Reid, and then I do my thing. If your auditions are strong, that should be fine. I would also say get her into classes to build her confidence so that she knows that she's doing a good job. And she also knows you have to have some, you know, personality and be able to make a connection with people in order to advance. And if she's motivated, if she wants to do it, she's 13, she can do it.
Yeah, right. Perfect. And I think I'm just grabbing the last one, but the good one. If a child is getting auditions and callbacks but hasn't booked yet, how do you know whether she's on the right track versus needing to change something? And I can understand that parent, you get confused. How do you know that? Do you just keep on applying for jobs, reviewing your profile? Uh,
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. You're okay. If you're going out on auditions and you're not getting callbacks, you need to review what you're doing. Okay. You need to be like, I need, even find a coach, show them a recent audition, and they will tell you right then and there, your child's blinking too much. Your child is not showing any range. When you're doing an audition, we like to think of it as crayons in your crayon box. We don't want to see one color. We want to see a lot of colors. A coach can tell you that. Um, you're not getting auditions. Maybe your profiles aren't looking like they should. Now, you have a child who's getting callbacks and not booking is completely different. Your child's 100% on the right track. They're getting callbacks. They're getting the casting director's attention. People are looking at them. Usually it's just a matter of time.
Right.
Also, a lot of times you can, again, tape a callback and make sure that your child did what they were supposed to, because you could be amazing and then the callback they did what I was talking about, like the director asked them to change something and they did it the same way. We know, I've seen those tapes. As soon as they're like, oh, can you do it this way, and I watch the child do the exact same thing they just did, it's over.
Right,
But your
right.
child's getting callbacks. That's amazing. That is so good. That is such a good sign. You should be very proud of them, and they are absolutely on the right track.
Yeah, agree.
Also, okay, your child cannot book anything. I have had people literally one example I could think of is I had a boy on the roster from the time he was 12 till he was 20, and he booked zero things, zero. But he was motivated. He kept his materials up to date. He turned in quality auditions, and then he booked the title role on an NBC show. People Magazine just did a spread on him getting married. Okay.
Wow. Well, so basically, what helped him? I mean, do you have any suggestions?
He was doing what he had to do. He was keeping his materials updated, he was keeping his profiles updated, he was taking classes. It just wasn't clicking. It just wasn't the right thing. But, we didn't lose faith in him. We're very loyal.
What?
It would be a different story if I had someone say, I wouldn't keep someone 8 years if, say, I gave them 100 auditions in 6 months and they did two of them. Then it's not worth me, taking up a spot on the roster for someone who isn't serious.
Right, right.
I've seen a question a bunch of times now. Yes, we are always looking for people. I think Kate is going to give you my email at the end. Just shoot me over like a little bit about your child, name, age, where you're located, and if you have any kind of material I can look at, like if you have a reel or a clip, send it to me as a YouTube link. Happy to look at it. What else?
Yeah, I think I'll just take very last one, and that's it for today. Because I mean, it's been almost an hour taking your time, and I'm sure that parents need to go back to work and stuff. So, for a younger actor who is just starting out, what makes you decide to take a chance on someone who doesn't have a lot of professional credits yet? I
We
mean,
do that all the time. We do that all the time. There are certain agencies that only take, proven. We're developmental. I'm happy to take you if you're a series regular, and I'm happy to take you if we have taken some classes and we do an interview and see if you're ready for me. Like the child who is looking at their mom for every answer is not ready for our level. But yeah, we absolutely start with brand new people and we develop them. That's like one of my favorite things.
perfect, perfect. That's what we need. Okay, Jackie, I think go ahead and share your email.
Okay,
So
where do I do it? Put it in the chat?
okay, type it in the chat
Okay.
and then
Um,
when we see it.
okay.
Okay, I think we've covered so many questions today, so many tips, especially for newcomers. They now know, how to navigate, where to start. And after this session, I really hope that parents will get on Kids Casting and update those profiles. Make sure that they have all the assets uploaded, skills added as much as possible. Just have a look at your kid. I mean, at the skills they have. What can you tell about them? Because Jackie also, she's the one casting. I mean, she will read that. She will look at that profile and see whether you can like match a role or the next project. So yeah, she has placed her email. If you're interested in getting an agent, go ahead. talent manager, go ahead and you can email her and ask your questions or ask to have a look at your kid profile. And
Oh, okay, hold on. Sorry, I'm putting it in again. Apparently it wasn't visible to everybody.
Okay.
And I'm a manager, not a casting director.
Manager. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Manager.
Okay. Hopefully everybody can see that.
Okay, now parents and teens, please promise me in the chat that you will go and update your kids casting profiles so that next time when Jackie will be casting for her project, then or casting, for new kids to add to her roster, your profiles will be ready. Just,
Okay.
just, just drop promise in the chat, and we're done for today.
Okay. It was really fun. I love this. I could do this all day long. And I look forward to you guys reaching out. If you want to mention that you saw me on this, that would be good. Um, yeah,
Cool, cool. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Jackie, for joining us. Thank you, parents and teens, for being in the session, asking all those questions. So many insights. Also, we will have a recording and send you it after it's done. And we'll post it on Kids Casting if you'd like to view it, like watch it one more time. And yeah, thank you so much. Again, Jackie, you were great. Very, inspiring session. I loved it. Thank you.
good. I just want all the kids to remember, just be yourselves. Just be you and do you. I don't need the next, Ariana Grande. I don't need the next whoever. I need the one and only you. That's what I want to see. Okay. Have a great day, guys. Thank you for letting me, you know, spill my nuggets, whatever. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.